Hello, my friends. Welcome to Capybara English Listening. Today, we embark on an exciting and transformative journey toward learning English in the most natural way possible. No stress, no complicated grammar rules, and no pressure to be perfect from the start. Instead, we will explore a method that allows you to acquire the language effortlessly, just like a baby does, the natural path to learning. Think about how a baby learns their first language. They are not handed a textbook or a dictionary. They do not sit down to memorize verbs or conjugations. Instead, they simply listen. They are surrounded by language, absorbing the sounds, the tones, and the rhythms of speech. Slowly but surely, they begin to recognize patterns. They pick up familiar words, understand their meanings through repetition and context, and eventually, without even realizing it, they start speaking. This natural process is how humans are designed to learn languages, and it is exactly how you can learn English, no matter your age. Unlike the rigid structure of traditional learning, where students are expected to memorize words and grammar rules in isolation, babies acquire language in a fluid and organic way. They listen without judgment. They absorb meaning not through translation, but through association. They don't fear making mistakes because they don't even know what a mistake is. They simply try, experiment, and adapt, overcoming fear and embracing mistakes. When we watch babies learn to speak, we notice something interesting. They are not afraid of making mistakes. They do not hesitate to babble or mispronounce words. They do not stop to worry about whether they are using the right verb tense. They simply try. They repeat words over and over until they sound right. They experiment with sounds, copying the speech of those around them. And through this fearless practice, they become fluent without even realizing they were ever learning. Now, imagine approaching English in the same way. Imagine immersing yourself in the sounds of the language, listening every day to native speakers, songs, movies, and conversations. Imagine repeating words and phrases, mimicking pronunciation, and allowing yourself to make mistakes without fear. Instead of analyzing every rule, you let the language flow naturally, absorbing it just as a child does. This method is not only effective, it is also fun, engaging, and completely stress-free. The power of listening. Listening is the foundation of language acquisition. Before a baby ever says their first word, they spend months just listening. They tune in to the voices around them, recognizing familiar tones and associating them with emotions, actions, and objects. You can do the same. The more you listen, the more your brain becomes familiar with the structure and flow of English. Start by exposing yourself to English every single day. It does not have to be complicated or time-consuming. Just play an English podcast while you go for a walk, watch a simple English video while cooking, or listen to an audiobook as you fall asleep. Every moment of exposure counts. You don't need to understand everything immediately. The goal is to let the rhythm, melody, and patterns of the language soak into your brain naturally. Repetition, the key to mastery. Another key to learning like a baby is repetition. Think about how often a baby hears the same words before they finally say them. Mama, Dada, come here, look. These words are repeated countless times in different contexts until they become second nature. The same principle applies to your English learning. Do not just study a word once and move on. Repeat it. Use it in different sentences. Hear it in different voices. The more you interact with a word, the more natural it becomes. Narration. Making English part of your life. Babies learn language because they hear it constantly in context. Parents naturally describe everything to their children. Look at the dog. The dog is running. Do you see the big dog? This constant exposure helps them associate words with real-life objects and actions. You can do the same by narrating your own life in English. Describe what you see, what you are doing, what you are feeling. I am making coffee. The coffee is hot. I am drinking the coffee. These simple descriptions reinforce vocabulary and help your brain connect words to real situations. The more you use English in your everyday thoughts, the faster it becomes a natural part of your life. Imitation. Copying like a child. Now let's talk about imitation. Babies do not create their own words. They copy what they hear. This is why it is so important for you to listen to native speakers and imitate their pronunciation, intonation, and sentence structure. Pay attention to how they link words together, how their tone changes when asking a question versus making a statement, how they emphasize certain syllables. Shadowing, a technique where you repeat what you hear immediately after the speaker, is an excellent way to train your pronunciation and rhythm. Even if you don't understand every word at first, your brain is still absorbing the melody of the language. How long will it take to speak fluently? A common question is, how long will it take before I can speak fluently? The answer depends on how much time you spend listening and interacting with the language. Babies are surrounded by language all day, every day. While we may not have the same level of exposure, we can still make English a regular part of our daily routine. Whether it's 10 minutes or an hour a day, every bit of practice adds up. The more you listen and repeat, the faster your brain adapts. The key is consistency. Language acquisition is not about intelligence, but about exposure and practice. The myth of needing thousands of words. Many people believe that fluency requires thousands of words. But studies show that knowing just 2,000 of the most common words allows you to understand about 90% of daily conversations. Instead of trying to memorize a dictionary, focus on learning the words and phrases that are actually used in real life. How's it going? Can I help you? Where is the nearest store? These are the kinds of expressions that will help you communicate naturally and effectively. A new mindset. Learning through enjoyment. Do not feel discouraged if you do not understand everything at first. Learning a language is like building a house. You do not start with the roof. You begin with a strong foundation. Each simple sentence, each repeated phrase, Each word you recognize is a brick in that foundation. As you continue practicing, the structure will take shape, and before you know it, you will be able to express yourself with confidence. Imagine yourself a few months from now. You are watching an English movie, and suddenly you realize you understand what the characters are saying. You are having a conversation, and the words come to you naturally. That moment is closer than you think. Every time you listen, every time you repeat, you are making progress. Even if you do not notice it right away, trust in the process. Final thoughts. Start today. So, my friends, I invite you to embrace this journey. Let go of the pressure to be perfect. Accept that mistakes are a natural part of learning. Surround yourself with English. Listen every day, repeat what you hear, and let the language become a natural part of your life. Just like a baby learns with curiosity and excitement, so can you. Starting today, commit to this method. Turn on an English song, listen to a short story, or simply repeat a few sentences out loud. Trust in yourself. Enjoy the process, and let English come to you naturally. You are capable of learning in the most organic and effective way, just like a baby.